There are recognizable cryptids today that we have been seeing throughout art history, like Bigfoot, the dog-headed men, dragons, and another common cryptid that we see a lot in art history are UFOs. And whether or not the UFOs are modes of transportation for cryptids or they're the cryptids themselves, it is pretty unmistakable that people have been representing the same metallic, shiny, unidentified flying objects that we know of today as UFOs. My name is Jenna Bosiger, and thank you for watching my Cryptic Cryptids YouTube channel. And if you also have an interest in UFOs, please hit the like for this video and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really do appreciate it. There are four main shapes for UFOs. They are spherical, saucer-shaped, cigar-shaped, and triangle-shaped. The description and the appearance of UFOs hasn't changed really at all for thousands of years in art history. Sometime between the Middle Ages and modern day times, the meaning of UFOs has changed significantly. Representations of UFOs in Renaissance paintings and the paintings from the Middle Ages. But going back even farther than that in time and history, all the way back 15,000 years ago, you'll see that in Valcamonica, Italy, they have 15,000-year-old petroglyphs there showing two sets of astronauts. And 5,000 years ago, some people in Death Valley, California, etched these UFOs into the rocks and the stones there. And if you look closely at one of these UFOs, it looks like they're beaming up a longhorn sheep. Just like these images you see about the cows getting beamed up by UFOs. It's so common, it's a cartoon cliche. And yet here it is 5,000 years ago. And then these in Australia are thousands of years old as well. But moving forward to the Dark Ages, which lasted from the fall of the Roman Empire around 500 AD until the start of the Renaissance around 1350. According to Britannica, the Inquisition lasted until the sometime in the 1800s. At any rate, I found at least 4 examples of UFOs mentioned in the Bible, and the paintings of UFOs are almost always related to religious events. There was Enoch, who saw the UFO in the sky and described it as shiny with wheels within wheels, and apparently he went up into the sky in this UFO. I'm not sure how long he was up there for, but I think it was longer on Earth than it was for him. Them as a threat to maintaining power, because eventually people might start worshiping the UFOs. There were also the 3 men that followed the UFO to the birth of Jesus. The other 2 times UFOs are portrayed in art is at the death and the birth of Jesus, especially and mostly in reference to Mary's virgin pregnancy and birth of the baby Jesus. The Crucifixion of Christ, and it's in the cathedral in Mesquite, Georgia, and it was done in the 1600s. But what about this one called the Crucifixion of Christ? It's in the Kosovo Vioska Dekani Monastery, painted in 1350. So what we have is the crucifixion of Jesus, and if you look at Jesus, he's dead. And in the sky, on both the right and the left, are 2 UFOs. And in the UFOs are pilots, but they're very different pilots. And in fact, if you look at the one on the left, it resembles the image of God. It looks like God. And he's very confident in how he's flying forward. And he's not looking at the crucifixion. He's looking ahead at the other pilot, the other UFO. And in the other UFO, there's a much younger pilot, and he's got wavy brown hair. And he's looking back at God in that UFO, and he's flying away from him. He doesn't look happy, and he's trying to fly away from God. Is it Jesus? Maybe you have to be dead in order to fly in UFOs. That's the only way that you could fly that fast in them. But I find it very interesting and odd at the same time. Does anybody have any comments about who's flying these UFOs, why they're there, and who they could be? All right, let's go back to this Leonardo da Vinci painting titled Savior of the World. So Leonardo da Vinci was all about symbolism, a lot of it probably because I think he knew a lot of stuff. He was in tight with the church. He was in tight with the state. The state was commissioning him to make inventions of weapons and stuff, and then the church was commissioning him to do religious paintings, and so he knew stuff, but he wasn't allowed to just come out and say it or paint it. So I think he had to try to maybe put it in there for future generations maybe to recognize. And it was when I was looking at the triangle UFOs, it made me think of the 3 mysterious lights in one of Leonardo da Vinci's paintings that I was trying to figure out the meaning of. The painting is Savior of the World, and it is a portrait of Jesus pointing to the sky, but actually if you look closer, he is pointing to the sky, but he's also holding up 2 fingers. And that definitely means something. Then he's also holding a crystal ball in the other hand, and in the crystal ball are 3 asymmetrical lights that form an obtuse triangle. And it isn't a star constellation. I think it's a UFO. So crystal balls can symbolize either the future or the world, the universe, pointing up, but he's got two fingers pointing up. UFOs, two fingers, two species. That's what I'm thinking. Everybody can agree on everything all the time. Another reason I was thinking that the meaning of UFOs changed over time could be due to something like semantics. And if you think of how our vocabulary, scientific vocabulary, has grown since then, words like immaculate conception and artificial insemination. Someday, it is a fact that our sun is going to supernova and it's going to incinerate the earth and everything on it. And unless there is a species, by the time that happens, that's smart enough to have space transportation and is able to find another planet suitable, it will never be an identical planet. It'll be similar. And so in order to introduce humans and other Earth species on this new planet, you would have to find native species already on that planet to mix with the DNA of an alien species. If you wanted to continue the survival of your species, that's what you would have to do. And it would involve probably a breeding program where you were abducting people. It is likely that these UFOs are involved with God and Jesus and impregnated Mary to boost our DNA. I've saved the best painting for last. I'm seeing in the background of this painting I'm seeing a Bigfoot creature cryptid being beamed up or down from Earth to or from a UFO. And I mean, is this something related again to the creation of man? Hollywood did not invent the UFO phenomenon or the abduction phenomenon. It was going on. And as for why, I guess it's still up for debate, but we may be able to figure it out. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that. And if you also have an interest in UFOs, then please hit the like for this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, bye!